And this was weird to me. The sky comprehension. So
There is
Billings. Okay, let's watch.
there is a whole book of pictures, people, sky, animals, children.
What happened, Paul?
I don't know. I don't know.
Tell you what's the problem?
My problem is these people have been living in a cylinder for their entire lives. So having the
cylinder.
idea, they do have the feed to the outside, so they do see the sky, and they probably call it sky. But to have an understanding of what exactly they're looking at, I think is impossible because they don't even they've never looked more than 20 feet, maybe 20 yards, 30 yards in front of their face. So this concept of a surface, of a sphere, and out to the distance, and landscape, and sky above me, it would just be, how could she process this picture? Look at this picture.
Right. She's never seen, nor does she have a concept of a mountain.
Right.
Right. Like this would, from her perspective, looking out into the world, this would be
Yeah.
like, oh, there's a little camera here, and this must be the edge of the hill that you don't go over. Like you have no idea of these distances because you've never seen outside of a cylinder, outside of the silo, which is like
Right.
I don't know, couple meters, like no, not a couple meters. It's like 30 meters, 40 meters, right? At max.
That's right. So the mountain we know is big.
Mm-hmm.
So we know, oh, that's it. Mountains are big. So that mountain must be far away at the edge of the picture, like in the background, way back there. But she has no
Right.
concept of a mountain. So her brain
Right.
would be like, it's big.
Oh,
so
this
it's
this is
close.
the ridge. That's just like the one that I see on the screen.
Yeah.
So there could be a tree up here. You know,
Right.
it just doesn't happen to be a tree there.
Right. And what are these colors? Yellow and green.
That's
I
right.
can't.
Because does the
is this?
silo have artificial seasons?
No way.
Does she know what trees look like when they turn colors in fall? She'd be like, why are these trees yellow? Is it just yellow trees?
I mean, even if she's seen a tree turn yellow, like a single tree in the silo, a bunch of trees in the silo, to understand that you could cover land with trees and they could turn yellow all at once, creating this beautiful. Wow.
Right. And then not the trees aren't purposely planted there by humans. Like no, like this is just how they filled the land with their own
Right.
tree,
It was just
tree stuff.
So you got mountains and sky and yellow trees and maybe even a river's in there. And how are the silo people even? There's no way she could comprehend this picture. Like the human brain is not built for this if you've grown up in the silo.
I've heard of this about people that live in deserts or even just not a desert, but deeply inland. They hear about the ocean. People describe it's so much water, and they're like, okay, sure, whatever, a lot of water. Then they go to the ocean and they crumble to the ground. They're like, I had no idea. I had no idea that it's water as far as you can see. It's totally just mind explosion. Never seen anything like it.
Actually, we have some examples here of things that are hard to comprehend at first glance. Images. Let's take a look.
Just things if you don't know what they are, then what are you looking at?
Yeah.
What is this?
Take a pause. What's your guess?
It's black and white.
Black and white.
Old
It's
timey.
What?
No.
Yeah. So what is this?
Okay, this is the shoulder of a weevil. So this is the leg, and this is the joint that goes into the weevil. And you would think the legs move around. There's probably going to be a ball joint. Not a ball joint. It's not like a ball with an arm that you rotate around this thing. It actually, the legs screw, see this corkscrew?
Yeah.
It screws into the body. And so this is synchrotron. This is the 3D rotation. I forget what this is called. But you can slice it. Tomography, there it is. From a synchrotron. You can slice this up different angles to see the structure inside.
Actually, so it's really advanced microscope. Essentially,
exactly.
Looking at these tiny features. Okay.
Here's a weevil, and so you look at these arms, you're like, oh, it's probably going to be a ball joint. No, it's not. They screw into the socket, and the idea is that when you screw the arm in, then you can survive these big drops because you don't have a ball joint with ligaments that get ripped when you hit the floor. So they twist their arms into the torso, and then they secure in real tight, and they can drop real far. But without knowing the answer. What is this?
What? Yeah. So without proper training, knowing about X-ray or electron tomography, without knowing about insects and the joints they have, without knowing how to process a black and white picture of this type that's got this 3D look to it, it's just you look at it and you think, my brain isn't processing. It's not. I don't know what it is. I don't know. It just looks like Nothing. I can't process it.
You start reaching, you're like, is this like a finger? I don't know.
Yeah. So we have more. Let's take a look for. There's more. Where it's like, what? Like, what is that? That is. Like your brain just looks at patterns, but you aren't going to be.
I mean, it looks like how like like oh gosh, what is it called? Water lilies.
Oh yeah.
How they'll grow into each other, and then so this is a little gap between them.
Yeah.
And so they're like growing, pushing, and then they don't overlap, so then they get push, a little gap.
Yeah.
It looks like
but
that.
it's not like my brain snaps into like, oh, I know exactly what that is and what kind of conclusions I should draw. Like, no way. What's the next one? What's this? Is that a huge creature? Looks like a huge creature about to kill stuff.
Is it deep in the ocean?
Yeah. Is it?
But then these are skinny, so then probably not in deep ocean because it'd probably be bigger structure.
So if I was reading in a book like this is on the outside, I'd be like, no, thank you. I do not want to leave the silo. There's big monstrous creatures.
These things are roaming around with no clear legs, right? So that means they fly. These are flying things.
Oh, I mean, terrifying.
And then there's like these two attack types, and then there's this one guy that's like a gatherer type.
Yeah. Start filling in stories for these massive monsters who are going to kill us if we leave the silo.
I have no idea. I have no idea what scale this is. It could be massive. It could be tiny. I have no idea.
No idea.
Arthropod? It's like a horseshoe type thing?
Yeah.
Horseshoe crab, you know what I'm talking about?
Like a crab, yeah.
Gosh, but okay, to be fair, the people in the silo don't know what crabs are.
That's right. So this is just terrifying through and through.
I mean, do people in Arizona know what a horseshoe crab is? Like, why would they? Like, what?
Right. They have the internet, but
yeah, but if you look it up, but it's not an animal that you encounter that you've seen before.
Right.
You're like walking along the shore. You're like, what is this?
Yeah, that's true. This one, that is hard to comprehend. What am I looking at? Now there are some scales here with magnification numbers and stuff, but if that wasn't there, it's like, what the heck? Am I looking at like the forest floor? What am I looking at? Is that mushrooms?
Is it spores or is
Spores?
it like, it kind of reminds me of the brachialis, like in your lungs, like where they branch out.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's that.
Yeah. To me, those circle thingies look like the tops of mushrooms, maybe.
Oh.
I
don't know. I don't know what this is.
Yeah. But based on the scale there, it's like,
this is the expression you expect her to have.
Yeah.
Be like, what is this? Like,
what is this?
Like I see, dear husband, that you're crying, but what is this? What are we looking at?
Yeah. And then this next one is like a normal scale one. What is this again?
This is a hole in the ground that's been burning for 50 years.
Okay.
Where is it? I forget.
It's like in the Middle East somewhere, right?
It's
like natural gas,
Turkmenistan, maybe.
Yeah, it's getting it's burning. And then a siphon effect is pulling more natural gas up, which is then burning, which then causes more siphoning.
Yep.
So it's like a hole in the ground that looks like a gateway to hell.
Right.
But if you didn't know what this was, you'd be like, "What in the world? Like, is this?"
You think this is a different planet? What?
That's right.
Like I've never seen a hole in the ground that just burns for 50 years.
That's right.
It's not like there's trash in there. There's not like there's trees like wood. Like it's just dirt that's burning.
Yeah. It looks like the layer of a villain from a Marvel movie or something. Like, not real.
That's right.
Not real.
That's right.
But it is real. Like, what?
Yeah, gosh. Imagine if you've seen a mountain. You've seen several mountains, and then somebody shows you a picture, and there's a mountain that has a hole in the top and a big old cloud on top. You're like, what is that? What are you showing me? Like,
I don't know what it is.
We know it's an eruption because we've seen videos of it. But imagine someone that's never seen it before, never heard of it before. Then you're like, oh yeah, the top of the mountain blew off. You're like, shut the front door. Like mountains don't blow up.
Mountains don't blow up. They're big piles of rock. What are you talking about? Blow up.
Right.
So I think the summary of this is based on education and your experiences in life. Your image processing comprehension for your brain is dependent on that. And if you don't have the context, then you wouldn't be able to process images from essentially situations that are alien to you. And I think this is alien enough to the people in the silo that this is just a blob of color to them.
What is her entire life? Her entire life is living inside the silo. Concrete everywhere. You see maybe 30 meters from side to side, like really not much.
Yep.
And so to see like how could she even conceptualize like this expansive space?
It was just if you had somebody like we were sitting there next to her and we're like explaining it. She's gonna have to like leverage the most abstract parts of her brain to even conceptualize what she's looking at. And we're like, it's just landscape, no problem. Yeah. What? Yeah.